Good morning. I'd like to call this meeting to order by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think we have approval of agenda first. I don't have any changes. Did you have any changes,
No,
additions?
I didn't. I make a motion to approve.
I second that. And public comments?
Good morning. I am here representing the Perry County Animal Welfare Board. I represent the city of Tell City on this board. Several months ago, we approached the commissioners. We've been working on the county ordinance that's been in effect since 2012, somewhere like that. And we were having a lot of issues with it because a county ordinance can't be enforced by a city officer. So what we wanted to do was try to get something that was generic that they could adopt. So the board went through the old ordinance. We did away with some things, and then we came to the commissioners, I think last year, maybe in June, something like that. And the commissioners tentatively agreed on it with the stipulation that I went and presented this to the other entities, Troy, Tell City, and Candleton, to see if they had any suggestions. Well, the first stumbling block was in the ordinance. Even after we did it, we still had a section on licensing animals. Well, way back 2000 or even earlier than that, the state of Indiana came up with a dog tax. And they also put in the state statute that if you didn't adopt the dog tax, you couldn't adopt an ordinance to license animals. We did not adopt that dog tax. So that was illegal. The attorneys for Tell City and Troy said this has always been the stumbling block. So with that suggestion, we came back and we deleted everything about licensing. Not to say that later on, because there's a movement in the state to try to do away with the dog tax, because there's only a few counties that adopted it.
Okay.
If they get rid of that ordinance, then we can go back and amend this to have a license fee. One of the other suggestions was the board is made up of 5 members. There's a representative from Candleton, Tell City, and then 3, I think 1 by the council and 2 by the commissioners. We decided Troy would like representation. We thought it was only fair. So if we added 1 member, that was 6. So we decided to go to 7. And the breakdown would be Troy would have a representative, Candleton would have a representative, Tell City. And then the other 4, 2 would be appointed by the commissioners, 2 by the council. And I think there's some requirements on the commissioners.
The requirements on some of this is you have to be a member of some certain organizations, animal organizations or animal sporting, what have you. And that is all will be gone now because we decided that, or we agreed upon that restricts people that want to be on the board, and they can't because they're not members of these organizations. And there is a lot of people that would like to be on this board that can't because of that reason.
So what the new board would be consist of 2 appointments by the commissioners, 2 by the council of residents of Perry County.
Okay.
So those are the major changes that we made into this. It was sent back to your attorney. He redid it and sent it back to us. And what I'd like, if the county will go ahead and approve this and we put this into effect, then I will reach out to the other, because the other entities have said if we made these changes, they were on board.
Okay.
This also makes it easier for the county, Allen's.
Yeah, as long as they mirror each
They're
other.
going to mirror. each
Yeah, it's
other.
going to mirror each other.
Yeah,
It'll be,
So everybody's on the same page.
it'll be one
when it
policy.
comes to enforcement.
Yes, it's one ordinance. for the whole county.
And just to give you, our future plans are that fines would come to the clerk's office, and there would be a special fund there, so someday we can hire an animal control officer. That's our main goal,
Okay.
is trying to come up with money for an animal control officer.
Can I ask,
We know it's gonna take a while.
so if a city officer writes an ordinance, it goes to the city clerk, or does it come here?
It's gonna all come out here.
It also come here?
Yeah.
There is a
we're gonna try to
fund already
funnel
set
everything
up.
here.
Great,
There is a fund already set up. It's
Right.
called a pet fund.
okay, great.
So, but before I go to the other entities, I want to make sure that the commissioners are okay with this ordinance.
So the board would establish all those fines, all that.
Yes.
Okay.
And it also will take care of permits for these people that sit up in front of, all along the highway selling animals that are not vaccinated. And we don't want to have another incident like we had last year, which I was involved in.
Well,
I'll admit that, but I mean-
we did put a stop to that almost, because now it falls under, if it's inside the city limits, they have to have
right,
a permit to sell, just
Right.
like anybody else that goes door to door. So
right, it's a vendor's permit.
Okay.
Yep. And that this here will include anywhere in the county that they can't do this anymore.
I don't see any problem with it.
I make a motion that we adopt the new ordinance
I second that.
pending the other three entities.
other entities accepting,
Correct.
that's fine. Thank you very much.
Are you gonna meet with like me, Derek,
Yes.
okay, Hamilton?
Because I've already met with the councils.
Okay.
And they're all on board.
Thank you, Charlie.
You're next too.
Or-
You're next with the postage.
Oh, I was gonna sit down and get back up.
Okay.
The exercise.
So you can announce the postage meter.
Okay, the next thing we will discuss is the postage meter. And we have Charlie again.
All right, again, I've only been in office for 6 weeks. And this was sort of dropped in my lap on day one, and I have looked into the company that we have it with. And the reason why we're changing this, it's 10 years old. It doesn't meet the standards of the United States Postal Service. And they can't upgrade this one that we have. So it was time to look at another one. Well, we talked to Southern Business. They gave me quotes. I spoke to Spencer County clerk. They use Southern Business. And then I called DuBois County, and they gave me the name of Pitney Bowes. Well, I sent them an email, and I hadn't heard anything. And Commissioner Javansky contacted me Friday and asked about it. So I reached out, and just luckily, I talked to their salesperson Friday, and he sent me a quote. Now, the one thing that he brought up that I was really interested is they have a lease agreement where if we buy it straight out, technically with a postage meter, you don't own it. You pay a lump sum, then there's a monthly fee, and then there's a yearly maintenance fee. And we've been paying this for 10 years, this yearly maintenance fee, because in the contract that was signed back in 2014, it was renewed every year automatically. No one had a say. So we've been paying a maintenance fee that we didn't really need because we didn't use very seldom. Now, when I talked to both of these companies, they said, if you buy this out, we do recommend that you do the yearly fee, because if we have to bill you and you have two things that happen to the meter in 1 year, it's going to cost more than what the
It would cost.
insurance or the yearly fee would be. Well, then Pitney Bowes presented a lease agreement where all these fees are built into this monthly rate. And I looked at it, and he quoted me 60 months at $199.78, 48 months for $207.18, and 36 months for $233. And I started figuring up with the fees and everything, if we bought it out, we paid the monthly fees and the yearly fees. To me, it makes more sense to go to this lease agreement. And what I'm proposing is the 48 month, which is 20718. That way, I do not have to go and ask for an additional appropriation. I have the funding to pay this 20718 monthly, and they bill quarterly, so it's 621.64 or whatever every quarter. Now, I may run a little short at the end of the year because I'm still paying Southern Business that monthly fee until we get it switched over. I have a bill for January, so we may be a couple $100 short, but if I have to come for additional back then, so be it. But I would like to get the okay to go ahead and contact them and say, I want the 48-month lease agreement, have them send the contract, and I will forward it to the commissioners and to Chris.
Okay, and your postage that is left on your,
He explained to me when they have someone to change companies, what they do is they write a check back to the county for what's ever on that meter. I'm gonna have to get a hold of Southern Business to make sure they're gonna do the same. Because I think we have probably a couple $1,000s still on that meter, and we don't wanna lose that.
and will that just go directly onto your postage on this one?
Probably it will be sent back and it'll go in the general fund. Because we already have our 25 postage
Okay,
budgeted. So I
yeah,
think it'd be easier just to let them pay back to the general fund, and then if we can address that issue if it comes up later.
yeah, by leasing this, you'll save $1,755, and this will be over a 48-month period. And you don't own the machine anyway.
We're
You
not
don't
gonna
own
own
it.
it either way, so why not do the lease?
Yeah.
And build in all those costs in one payment?
Yeah.
Instead of making three, we would pay for the machine, we would pay a yearly, and then every quarter we'd make a payment. This is the way we're making just a quarter payment on the lease agreement.
I think you'll be happy with the equipment too. I think,
But DuBois County, I didn't want to say this in front of Chris because the auditor in DuBois County does all the mailing. And she recommended it highly.
Okay.
So, and Chris, I apologize. We were set Friday. It was just a madhouse out here because of snow, and I didn't reach out to you about this.
This looks a lot better than,
the other one.
Yeah.
It's, and how quickly can they get this?
That I do not know. I'm going to leave here and get on the phone with him.
Okay, I make a motion, we approve this with the stipulation that we need to see a contract
Okay.
instead of just this paper.
Right. That's
When
right.
he sends you a contract, email it to us and we
Yes.
can
put
look
it
it
on the
over.
agenda for next week, because
Right, okay, yeah, we're
Yeah,
meeting
okay.
again next week.
Okay, that's
So,
fine.
Tuesday evening.
Let's just plan that if that's all
Okay.
right. All
So,
right. Thank you all very
I
much.
second that.
I
okay,
think I have enough.
so verbal approval.
Yeah, pending the.
pending the contract,
And it's with this Pitney Bowes.
Yeah.
yes. And they're located out of
Is it Connecticut or
Well, I
United
think
States?
Michigan
Michigan.
is where I spoke to this gentleman from. Because he was telling me that we had more snow than they did. And also we get a special rate because we're a government entity.
Yeah. Thank you, Charlie.
And this is the special rate,
Pardon?
this cost will be the special rate.
Right, all of them included. And he sent me two different options, and I went with the second option because it's the closest thing to what we have right now.
Okay.
And it will do a little bit more than what this will do.
All right,
All right, next is minutes. Have from December 17th first.
I make a motion, we accept.
I second that. Do we need to sign any of those?
At the end of it, yeah, we'll
Okay.
sign all of them. Yeah.
And December 23rd,
I make a motion.
I second that. December 30th minutes,
I make a motion.
I second that. And January 2nd minutes.
Did, yeah, we met that, yeah.
Gordon
I
said
got them
that.
right here in front of me. Yeah, I make a motion.
And I second that. I think that is it. You're next, Chris.
All right. So we've got the January 3rd payroll in the amount of $188,775.18.
I make a motion.
I second that.
Then we've got the withholdings for that payroll on January 3rd in the amount of $40,897.49.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
We have our health claims paid out since the last meeting in the amount of $172,904.14.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Our dental claims in the amount of $106.41.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Our vision claims in the amount of $279.51.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
We have our life insurance claims in the amount of $1,436.54.
I make a motion.
I second that.
And lastly, our claim docket for the January 3rd meeting is now, being postponed to here in the amount of $1,743,335.38.
I make a motion.
I second that.
This does include the right under $1 million payment for the River Road project, so that's
Okay, I was wondering if that was
in there, yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, so we'll have another one for you guys next week.
It'll be Tuesday, January the 21st at 6 p.m.
Mhm.
Okay.
I make a motion to conclude the meeting.
Second.
Adjourn at 9:18.
Thank you guys very much.